On my birthday, Mom posted a photo of my brother and me on social media. The caption read, "Both children are good children of mine, I love my daughter and son equally." It got countless likes, and the comments were full of praise for how open-minded she is. I stared at the phone screen and almost laughed out loud. Just half an hour earlier, she had transferred the house Grandpa left to my brother. "Emma, you're the older sister, you must help your brother." She said this to me while handling the paperwork. "Girls will marry someday, it's more appropriate for the house to go to your brother." I stood at the door of the housing authority, staring at the transfer agreement, my heart a tangle of emotions. The apartment was worth $8 million, in a prime location, and Grandpa had deliberately left it to me before he died, because I had always been closest to him. But Mom, insisting on unified management, tricked me into signing a power of attorney. Now that the house is in my brother's name, I'm completely an outsider. "Mom, Grandpa clearly said this house was for me." "Your grandfather has dementia, how could he tell?" Mom waved her hand. "Why does a girl need so many houses? When you get married you'll have a place to live." My brother Ethan stood beside her, not saying a word, just holding the property deed and smiling happily. He's 25 this year, graduated from a top university, works for a big corporation, and earns $300,000 a year. By all rights he could easily afford to buy his own place, but Mom insisted on giving my apartment to him. "Big sis, Mom's doing this for your own good," my brother finally said. "Look, you're already 28 and still single, having a mortgage is a lot of pressure." Hearing that, my chest tightened painfully. What's wrong with me being 28 and single? My career is thriving, I'm the creative director at an advertising firm, earning $500,000 a year, more than my brother. But in their eyes, a woman who doesn't marry is a failure. All right, stop it." Mom cut us off. "Emma, come home for dinner tonight, I'll make you braised pork." Braised pork. All my life, whenever she showed favoritism to my brother, she'd console me with this dish. As if a plate of meat could smooth over all the injustices. I watched the two of them walk away, and the last string inside me finally snapped. Back home, I opened that long-sealed safe. Inside was a DNA test report. I had had it done in secret 2 years ago. The results showed, my mother and I have no blood relation. I was adopted. When I saw that result back then, I was completely stunned. No wonder Mom favored my brother since I was little, no wonder she always said, "A daughter is like water thrown away." So it turned out I really wasn't her biological child. But I pretended not to know all along, because I still clung to a sliver of hope, thinking that the debt of raising me was greater than the sky and she would always treat me as her own daughter. Until today, the matter of the house completely broke my heart. I took out my phone and scrolled to that post on my mother's social media. My finger hovered over the screen for a long time, but in the end I didn't hit like. There are some lies I no longer want to keep playing along with. At 7 in the evening, I returned home on time. Sure enough, there was a plate of braised pork on the table, and my favorite sweet and sour ribs. "Emma, sit down quickly, I bought your favorite dish today." Mother smiled gently, as if nothing had happened that afternoon. I sat down, picked up a piece of meat and put it in my mouth. The taste was still so familiar, but my mood was completely different. "Mom, I want to ask you a question." I set down my chopsticks. "What question?" "Eat, it will get cold and won't taste good. If one day I stop being filial to you, what will you do?" My mother's movements halted. She looked at me and said, "Emma, how can you say something like that? You've been obedient and sensible since you were little, how could you possibly be unfilial to your mother?" "I'm saying what if." "You can't say what if. You are my daughter, respecting your parents is only natural." Her tone turned serious. "Emma, have you been under a lot of stress at work lately? Don't let your mind wander." I nodded and didn't say anything more. After the meal, my brother called. "Mom, I've got my eye on a car, a Mercedes, it costs $500,000. Okay, I'll transfer the money to you." Mom agreed without a second thought. After she hung up, she turned to me and said, "Emma, your brother wants to buy a car, and I don't have enough money right now. Lend me 200,000, and I'll pay you back in a while." I looked at her air of entitlement and felt a cold shiver run through me. She had just given our son an 8 million yuan house, and now she expected her daughter to pay for his son's car. And she even used the word borrow, as if that somehow made it fair. "I have no money." I refused outright. "How could you possibly have no money? Your salary is so high, and you hardly spend anything." "I won't lend you money even if I had it." Her mother's expression changed. "Emma, how did you become so selfish? Ethan is your brother, what's wrong with helping him?" "Selfish." Coming from her mouth, the word sounded especially grating. "He bought a car, what does that have to do with me?" I stood up. "Mom, there are some things I've figured out." "Figured out what?" "I figured out my place in this family." After saying that, I went back to my room to pack my things. Mom followed me, pleading without stop, "Emma, don't be angry. I didn't mean it like that. We'll talk about the car, okay? No discussion." I zipped up my suitcase. "Mom, I'm moving out." "Move out? This is your home." I looked at her anxious face and felt a twinge of pity. But when I thought of that DNA report, of the house that had been taken away, my heart hardened again. "We'll deal with the rest later." I dragged my suitcase out the door, and my mother's voice came from behind, "Emma, don't be stubborn, let's talk this through." I didn't look back. Some words are useless once spoken. Some paths you have to walk alone. On the first night after moving out, I stayed at my best friend Lily's apartment. She was my classmate from college. After graduation we both stayed to build our lives in this city, and we knew each other's family situations better than anyone. "What's wrong with your mother this time?" Lily poured me a glass of red wine. I told her everything that had happened today, word for word, including the DNA test report. Lily was silent for a long time after listening. "Emma, what are you going to do?" "I don't know either." I raised the glass and drank it down in one. "Maybe I really will cut ties." "Don't be impulsive. You and your mother have had so many years together, don't let a single apartment ruin that." "It's not because of the apartment." I shook my head. "It's because I suddenly saw the reality." Lily tried to persuade me for a long time, but my mind was made up. The next day, I looked at several rentals and finally chose a one-bedroom not far from the office. When the contract was being signed, Mom called. "Emma, where did you sleep last night?" "I'm worried sick." "I stayed at a hotel." I lied. "Come home soon, I've made your favorite chicken soup." "No need, I've already rented a place. I'll live out on my own from now on." There was a few seconds of silence on the other end of the line. "Emma, don't be stubborn. It's not safe out there, and it's more expensive. I have my own money." "Why are you so stubborn?" "Just over something that happened yesterday. Do you have to move out?" "That something?" 8 million yuan for a house and she calls it that something? "Mom, it's not just about the house." "Then what is it? Say it clearly." I thought it over and still didn't bring up the DNA test. Some truths are too cruel, the fewer people who know, the better. "It's nothing, I just want to live on my own for a while." After hanging up, I went on with the paperwork. The landlord was a woman in her 50s who looked very kind. "You young people should be independent." My daughter was like that too, she moved out right after graduating from college. "Auntie, how old is your daughter?" "She's 26, works at a bank." "We never burden her. Young people need their own lives." I felt a pang of envy. Why could other parents understand their daughter's independence, while my mother insisted on keeping me by her side, turning me into my brother's ATM? After handling the paperwork, I began moving out. There weren't many things, mostly clothes and some books. I didn't take any of the childhood photos or keepsakes. That afternoon, my brother suddenly appeared downstairs at the building where I was renting. Sis, are you really moving out to live on your own? Why? Just because of the house? His tone held a bit of bewilderment. That apartment was going to be ours sooner or later, wouldn't it be the same if they gave it to me? Our family. The words stabbed at my heart. Ethan, I'm asking you a question. I stopped packing. If one day Mom grows old, falls ill, and needs someone to take care of her, who do you think should be responsible? Of course, we all should. Then why is the house being left to you alone? Ethan froze, he clearly hadn't thought about the question. This is different, right? I'm the son, it's only natural that I inherit the family property. Only natural. That phrase exposed his true thoughts. To him, inheriting the estate was a son's right, while shouldering the responsibilities was a duty for both siblings. Since you'll be inheriting everything, then you can shoulder the responsibilities alone too. I kept packing. From now on, you handle Mom's care yourself. Sis, you can't do this. Ethan was desperate. Mom loves you so much, how can you abandon her? Loves me? If this is what he calls love, then it's a cheap kind of love. She loves you, not me. What are you talking about? Mom clearly loves both of her children. I stopped and looked at him. Ethan, do you really think Mom loves us both the same? Of course. Then why, growing up, did you always get the good food first? Why was I refused when I wanted to learn painting, but when you wanted piano she bought you a piano right away? Why did I have to work to pay my own college fees while yours were prepared early by Mom? Ethan opened his mouth, ready to retort, but found he had nothing to say. Because everything I said was true. That's because. He stammered for a long time and finally said, maybe it's because I'm a boy. Because I'm a boy. What a blunt answer. Since you know, stop pretending you don't. I snapped the suitcase shut. Ethan, we're adults now. Some things can be said plainly. Mom favors you, that's a fact. I don't blame you, because you had no choice. But from now on, I have a choice too. I wish you happiness. I pulled my suitcase out of the home I'd lived in for 28 years, feeling lighter than I ever had. There was some reluctance, but more than that, relief. Some shackles must be broken by your own hands. Some paths must be chosen by yourself. That evening, I had my first meal in the new home. Simple instant noodles with a fried egg, yet it tasted unusually sweet. My phone buzzed, a message from Mom. Emma, Mom misses you. When will you come home? I stared at the message, my finger hovering over the screen for a long time. In the end, I chose not to reply. Some things are pointless to say. Some roads, once taken, have no turning back. A week after I moved out, Mom finally couldn't hold herself back. She came straight to the building where I work and stopped me as I was leaving. Emma, how did you become like this? A week without coming home, not answering calls, not replying to messages. Mom's eyes were rimmed in red, she looked truly haggard. I replied to the message, I said. What did you reply? Just or got it, you call that replying? Colleagues passing by glanced over at us, curious. I didn't want to make a scene at the company entrance, so I said, Mom, let's find somewhere to talk. There was a coffee shop nearby, and we sat in a corner. Emma, what's wrong with you? How did Mom do anything wrong? Her voice caught a little. Seeing her like that made me feel bad too. No matter what, she raised me for 28 years, that debt of gratitude is real. Mom, I'm not saying you did anything wrong. Then why did you move out? Why are you ignoring Mom? I was silent for a moment, gathered my words. Mom, I think we need some space. What space? We're fine, what space could there be? Just, living our own lives. My mother suddenly became agitated. Emma, have you been brainwashed by someone? Or are you in love? Is that man teaching you to treat your mother like this? No, I'm not in a relationship. Then why have you become like this? Tears fell from her eyes. I've raised you all these years, and this is how you repay me? The debt of being raised. That phrase was like a mountain, pressing down on me until I could hardly breathe. Mom, I haven't failed to repay you. Then come home and live with us. I've already rented a place. Cancel it, I'll help you cancel it, honey. I shook my head. Mom, I'm 28. I have my own way of living. What's wrong with being 28? Does being 28 mean you're not your mother's daughter anymore? Her voice grew louder. Emma, I only have the two of you. If even you don't want your mother, what's the point of me being alive? The other customers in the cafe all looked over. I felt deeply embarrassed. Mom, please don't do this. Emma, will you come back? Mom promises you won't be wronged again. Promise I won't be wronged? But what about that house? What about the money you used to buy my brother's car? Mom, how do you explain the house? Mom was taken aback for a moment. What house? The house Grandpa left me. Wasn't that house given to Ethan? What is there to explain? She looked perfectly self-righteous. Ethan is a boy, he needs a house to get married. When you marry someday, what use will a house be to you? What if I don't get married? How could you not get married? Girls always marry. I took a deep breath. Mom, then tell me, if I'm destined to marry and belong to another family, why do you still expect me to care for you in your old age? That question stumped her. By her logic, once a daughter marries, she's part of someone else's family, so she has no obligation to look after her birth parents. But she clearly hadn't thought through that contradiction. This is different. She stammered. You are my daughter, it's only right that you take care of your mother. Then if you want me to care for you, why won't you give me the property that's rightfully mine? Emma, why are you being so petty? Mom isn't refusing to spend money on you. Spending money on me and giving me property are two different things. Mom was silent for a long time, then finally said, Emma, I admit I might treat Ethan a little better in some matters. But that doesn't mean I don't love you. You're a girl, you'll have a husband to cherish you and in-laws to look after you in the future. Ethan is a boy, he faces more pressure. Isn't it right for Mom to help him a bit more? Those words sounded grandiose, but the logic was completely wrong. Why should a girl be expected to be cherished by a husband and cared for by in-laws? Why should a boy's greater pressure justify parents helping him more? Mom, do you mean that a daughter is born to depend on someone? Not to depend, it's to be cared for. What if no one takes care of me? What if I never get married? My mother was left speechless by my question. She had never considered the possibility that her daughter might not marry. In her worldview, a woman who didn't marry was a failure. Emma, don't get stuck on this. There's no woman who doesn't get married. I won't get married. I said firmly, I'll live my whole life alone. Nonsense. Mom snapped, what will a woman do if she doesn't get married? What about when you're old? I'll take care of myself when I'm old. Why are you so stupid? She said, exasperated as if scolding iron to become steel. Mom did this for your own good, why can't you understand? It's for my own good. She said it again. From childhood to adulthood, every partiality she'd done was explained away by saying it's for your own good. It was a truly universal excuse. Mom, if you really mean it's for my good, then give the house back to me, one each. Emma, don't be ridiculous. The house has already been transferred, how could I give it back to you? If he wants to repay it, he will. Mom shook her head firmly, no way, Ethan is about to get married, he needs a house. He needs a house. Does that mean I don't? Fine, then. If that's the case, don't come to me for anything from now on. I stood up to leave. Emma. Mom grabbed my hand. You can't treat your mother like this. Mom, you were the one who did this to me first. How did your mother wrong you? Where did I ever hurt you? I looked at the crushed expression on her face, my feelings a tangle of salt and sugar. In her understanding, she truly hadn't wronged me. By her values, a daughter was supposed to make way for a son, that was the natural order of things. But I don't agree with that set of values. Mom, our values are different, there's no need to force it. What values are different? You're my daughter, that will never change. Daughter. That word once warmed me, now it feels heavy. Yes, I'm your daughter, I said with a bitter laugh. But you've never treated me like one. After saying that, I shook off her hand and walked away without looking back. My mother's crying came from behind me, loud enough to draw a crowd. My heart hurt, but my steps did not falter. Some paths must be walked with a hard heart. Some shackles must be broken by your own hands. A video of my mother crying in the cafe was filmed and posted online. The headline read, "Ungrateful daughter reduces mother to tears, severs family ties for money." In the video only mom is crying, there's no context, and the comment section is unanimously condemning me. Lily forwarded the video to me, indignant, "These people don't know the truth and yet they comment wildly, it's outrageous." I stared at those vicious comments, feeling conflicted. Online bullying works like that, people jump to conclusions from a one-sided clip. They don't know about the house, don't know about all these years of favoritism, they only see a mother crying and assume the daughter is unfilial. "Emma, do you want to clarify?" Lily asked. I shook my head. Never mind, nobody would believe me anyway. Besides, mom did cry, that's a fact. Whatever the reason, making my mother cry in public was definitely my fault. After work, I received a call from an unknown number. "Is this Emma? I'm a reporter from today's Focus. I'd like to interview you about mother-daughter relationships." A reporter had come knocking. The topic did have news value, after all, freeloading off parents and elder care were hot subjects right now. "Sorry, I don't do interviews." "Miss Emma, just 5 minutes. We want to hear your perspective." "I have nothing to say, thank you." After hanging up, I had a feeling this might blow up. Sure enough, first thing the next morning I got a call from HR. "Emma, have you been going through something lately? The company has received some complaint calls." "What complaints?" "They're saying our company's employee is unfilial to her parents and demanding we fire you." I was speechless. Online mobbing had already spread to my job. "Nancy, this is my private matter, it shouldn't affect work. I know the company won't fire you over something like this. But you'd better keep a low profile." Nancy's words were polite, but I could hear the worry in them. After all, we work in advertising, clients have very high standards for their employees' images. If the label unfilial daughter were stuck on me, it would indeed affect business. At noon, my brother messaged me, "Sister, have you seen what's online?" "I have. Could you go and clarify things? Mom's being torn apart by netizens." I froze for a moment. Mom's being attacked? Yeah, someone dug up her identity, saying she failed at raising her daughter, and others are accusing her of playing the victim. I hurried online to check. Sure enough, the situation was starting to turn. Some netizens dug up the specific details of our family, including the house situation. This mother is at fault too, an 8 million house given entirely to the son, nothing to the daughter, and she still expects filial piety? A textbook case of favoring sons over daughters. There's always something hateful about someone who's pitiable. Public opinion online began to turn, and mom became the target of attacks. I felt uneasy. Even though what she did was wrong, I didn't want strangers to malign her out of malice. In the afternoon, mom called. "Emma, could you put out a statement saying I don't favor sons over daughters?" Her voice was exhausted, as if she'd been badly worn down by the online abuse. "Emma, I'm begging you. The things people are saying online are so cruel, I can't take it." I fell silent for a long time. Saying she favored sons over daughters was a fact, I couldn't deny it in good conscience. But watching her be attacked by netizens made me feel awful too. "Mom, why don't you give me a set of the house and I'll release a statement to clear things up?" There was a long silence on the other end of the line. "Emma, are you threatening your mother? I'm not threatening you, it's a trade. Mom is being torn apart online like this, and you're still hung up on the house? I forced a bitter laugh. Mom, you were the one who started the fuss. If you'd divided them evenly from the start, none of this would have happened. But the house has already been given to Ethan. Then take it back and redistribute it. Mom fell silent again. Emma, are you really going to push your mother? I'm not pushing you. I just want the room that belongs to me. That's not yours, it's what your grandfather left to Ethan. That made me laugh. Mom, you just said you were afraid netizens would accuse you of favoring sons, and now you say the house was always meant for my brother. Which side are you on? Faced with my question, Mom was completely speechless. She was confused by her own words. In any case, the house can't be for you. In the end, she stuck to that position. Then I can't help clear this up for you. Mom, you chose your own path, you deal with the consequences. I hung up the phone and let out a long sigh. Actually, I didn't want things to blow up like this, but she forced me, I had no choice. Some people are like that, until they run into a wall they won't turn back. That evening, Lily came over to keep me company. Emma, have you thought about what would happen if your mom really couldn't bear the online abuse and something happened? A cold weight settled in my chest. That possibility did exist. The power of online harassment is enormous, some people really can be driven to collapse. What do you think I should do? Why don't you post a statement first, saying this is a family matter and asking netizens to stop attacking your mother? I thought it over and found the suggestion sensible. Although my mother and I had our differences, I didn't want her to be maliciously attacked by unrelated people. So I posted a statement on social media, regarding the online video. It was indeed an argument between my mother and me. This is a family matter. I hope everyone won't overinterpret it or attack my mother. Thank you all for your concern. After the statement was released, the online discussion died down a bit. But the matter was far from over. The next day, Mom called again. Emma, could you post one more thing saying Mom doesn't favor sons over daughters? Mom, I already put out a statement asking netizens to stop attacking you. But they're still saying I'm biased. Because it's the truth. What truth? When has Mom ever been biased? I was truly speechless. At this point, she was still denying it. Mom, giving the house to my brother and not to me, if that's not favoritism, what is? That's because Ethan needs it. Enough, you've said that 800 times. I cut her off. Mom, what do you actually want? I want you to admit that your mother is not biased towards sons over daughters. Then give me one of the houses. The same damned loop again. Neither of us would yield. In the end, the call ended in a stalemate. I knew the real battle was only just beginning. Things kept fermenting. A reporter tracked down my brother and asked him for his take on the matter. My brother looked round in front of the camera. My sister has been excellent since she was little, and my mother has always doted on her. This conflict might be a misunderstanding, we're communicating to resolve it. It sounded perfectly proper, but he didn't say a word about the house. The reporter pressed on, people online are saying all the property was given to you, is that true? The property belongs to my parents. They can give it to whoever they want, I don't have a say. That was a clever line, acknowledging that the house went to him while shifting the blame onto their parents. Do you think that distribution is fair? I think our parents must have their reasons. Besides, my sister is successful in her career and financially independent, she doesn't need to worry about housing. She doesn't need to worry about housing. As if 8 million yuan were nothing to anyone. After the interview aired, the web erupted in discussion. Some said my younger brother had high emotional intelligence and knew how to talk. Others said he was pretending to be innocent, clearly a beneficiary yet acting as if deeply wronged. And I became the villain who turned against family for money. The way public opinion was steered left me helpless. In most people's eyes, a daughter should be unconditionally filial, should sacrifice for the family. If a daughter has her own ideas, her own interests, she's selfish, unfilial. This kind of double standard makes me furious. It was the weekend. I was tidying my room when the doorbell rang. I opened the door and saw Dad. His hair had gone much whiter, he looked considerably older. "Emma, Dad wants to talk with you." I let him in and brewed a cup of tea. "Dad, what are you doing here? Your mother hasn't been able to sleep these past few days because of the online mess." I couldn't stand watching her suffer anymore. My father's tone was very calm, but I could hear the worry in it. "Emma, no matter what, she is your mother." "I know. Can't you two sit down and have a proper talk?" I gave a bitter laugh. "Dad, we've talked many times already. There's no way to communicate." "Why can't we communicate?" "Because she won't admit she's biased, and she has the nerve to demand that I accept this unfairness." Dad was silent for a moment. "Emma, I admit it, in some things, we have indeed shown Ethan a little more care." At last, someone had admitted it. "But that doesn't mean we don't love you." "Dad, love isn't just words, it's shown through actions." "But Emma, you have to understand the difficulties your parents face. Ethan is a boy, he'll have to take on more responsibilities in the future." "What responsibilities?" I cut him off. "Caring for them in old age?" "But the property was given to him, why should we be the ones to shoulder the responsibility?" My father was stumped by my question. After a long time he said, "Emma, it's wrong for you to think like that. Family isn't a business, you can't treat everything as fairness." "What should we be talking about, then?" "Feelings. Family ties. Feelings are mutual, Dad. The feelings you give Ethan are a house, a car, and all kinds of benefits." "What feelings did you give me?" "Moral blackmail and unconditional giving?" Dad looked at me, a hint of pity in his eyes. "Emma, you've changed." "Yes, I have," I admitted calmly. "I'm no longer the daughter who just endures in silence." "What do you want, then?" "I want fairness. Either split the assets equally, or split the responsibilities equally. You can't give all the benefits to your son and all the burdens to your daughter." Dad thought for a long time. "Emma, we can still negotiate about the house. But can you come home first? Your mother really misses you. Let's settle the house matter first, then we'll talk." "Do you have to be so stubborn?" "Dad, this isn't stubbornness, it's principle." Father ultimately left in disappointment. As he was leaving he said, "Emma, if you keep going like this, you'll lose this family." "Lose this family." The words made me want to laugh. When did I ever have this family? All my life I've been an outsider in it. Good things never came to me, but responsibilities always did. A family like this, I'd rather not have it. That night I had a dream. In it I was a child again, watching TV in the living room with my younger brother. Mother brought over 2 bowls of noodles, the noodles in my brother's bowl were plain, while mine had none. "Mom, why does Ethan have it and I don't?" "Because Ethan is a boy, he needs the nutrition." "Then I want some too." "You're the older sister, you must be considerate of your brother." In my dream I cried so sorrowfully. In waking life I cried too, my tears soaking the pillow. It turned out the seed of unfairness was planted back then. I was just too small at the time to know how to resist. Now I am grown, and finally have the right to choose. I will no longer be the daughter who silently endures. When I woke, I made a decision. I would tell the whole truth. Including that DNA test report. If they want to make a scene, then I'll make it complete. I want everyone to know the truth about this family. I posted a long piece online, detailing the unfair treatment at home over the years. From the simple things in childhood, to the unequal treatment in extracurricular classes, to the issue of college tuition, and finally to the matter of the house. I wrote about each incident in great detail, with dates, locations, and specific circumstances. Finally, I wrote, "What I want to say is that not all family ties are worth cherishing, and not all parents deserve filial piety." When a family treats a daughter as a tool, as a free nanny, that daughter has the right to choose her own life. The piece went viral quickly. It was shared over 100,000 times and the comments section exploded. Those who supported me said, "Finally someone dares to speak the truth. Daughters are not the family's sacrificial lambs. I support you, be yourself." Those who opposed me said, "No matter how unfair, they're still your parents." Young people these days really have no conscience. The controversy was huge, but I don't regret it. Some things that have been bottled up for too long need to be said. The next day, Mom called me like a madwoman. "Emma, how could you tell everyone about what happened at home?" "Because I want people to know the truth." "What truth?" "The things you mentioned are all trivial, how are they unfair?" By this point, she was still denying it. Trivial? "Mom, is an 8 million yuan house a trivial matter to you?" "That's not what I meant." "What do you mean by that?" Mom was silent for a long time and finally said, "Emma, delete that post and let's have a proper talk." "Talk about what?" "The house, it's something we can discuss." "How are we supposed to negotiate?" What do you want?" "One house for each of us, or sell that house and split the money." "Impossible." She protested immediately. "That house is Ethan's marital home." I laughed. "Then there's nothing left to discuss." "Emma, you can't be so heartless." "Heartless?" "Mom, why didn't you call it heartless when you gave the house to my brother?" "That's different." "What's the difference?" Mom started repeating that spiel again. "Ethan is a boy, he has more pressure, he needs a house to get married. You're a girl, you'll have a husband in the future." "Enough, you've said that 1,000 times." I cut her off impatiently. "Mom, I'll ask you one last time, will you give the house or not?" "No." "Then there's nothing more to say." I hung up the phone and felt oddly relieved. At least her stance was clear, and I no longer had to cling to any illusions. That afternoon, my brother posted a status: "It's normal for family members to have disagreements, but blood is thicker than water, family bonds don't change. I hope our family can reconcile soon." He attached a photo from when we were kids, the 4 of us in one picture. Many people liked and commented, all praising him for being sensible. And I, once again, became the sister who wasn't sensible. I looked at that family photo with mixed feelings. The 4 of them in the picture seemed very happy, but reality was an entirely different scene. Sometimes I also wonder, if I hadn't seen that DNA report, could I have kept pretending? Kept being the sensible daughter, quietly bearing all the unfairness? But now it was impossible. Some truths, once known, cannot be undone. That night, I received a call from an unknown number. "Hello, is this Emma? I'm your biological mother." I was stunned. The call came so suddenly, I was completely unprepared. How did you find me?" "There's been a big stir online recently. I saw the reports and recognized you." Her voice was gentle, sounding very young. "Can I see you?" I hesitated for a long time, but in the end I agreed. We arranged to meet at a quiet cafe. Her name was Wendy, she looked to be around 40 and had a graceful air. "Emma, all these years, your mother has been looking for you." She cried the moment we met, tears falling like beads cut from a broken string. I sat opposite her, my feelings tangled. "Why did you abandon me?" That was the question I wanted to ask most. Wendy cried harder. "Mom was only 18 then, still in college, she couldn't take care of you." "What about my father?" He has a family, he can't be responsible." "I understand now, I'm a love child." "Have you been doing okay all these years?" she asked with concern. I gave a bitter laugh. "What do you think?" Wendy looked at me. "Emma, come home with Mom. Mom is able to take care of you now." I shook my head. "No, I'm used to being on my own now." "But. And besides, you have your own family now, don't you?" Wendy nodded. "I'm married, I have a son, he's 5 this year." Another son. All the more inappropriate. Emma, no matter what, you are Mom's biological daughter. Biological daughter. That title used to be something I yearned for, now I find it ironic. But you gave me away to someone else. Mom really had no choice back then. I watched her crying and felt not a single ripple in my heart. 28 years of emptiness can't be fixed with a single, there's nothing we can do. Emma, Mom knows how much you've suffered these years. From now on I'll make it up to you. Make it up. That word again. No, I don't need anyone's compensation. I stood up. All I want is fairness. Emma. Thank you for coming to see me, but it's best if we don't meet again. I turned and left the cafe, her crying following me out the door. Back home, I lay on the bed and stared up at the ceiling. Today has been a strange day. My adoptive mother and my birth mother, one refused to give me fairness, the other wanted to make amends for her mistakes. But I don't need either of them anymore. I only need myself. My phone rang, it was a message from Lily. Emma, are you okay? There's another new expose online. I opened the webpage and saw that someone had dug up my brother's girlfriend's identity. She turned out to be a second-generation rich kid, her family owns several properties. So in other words, my brother doesn't need the house at all, Mom gave him my place out of pure favoritism. Now the online tide has shifted. More people are siding with me, condemning my family's preference for sons over daughters. I read those comments with a jumble of feelings. The truth always comes to light. It just arrived a little late. After public opinion completely flipped, Mom finally couldn't hold back. She reached out to meet me, and the place was the same cafe. This time she looked drawn, her hair much frosted with gray. Emma, Mom has come to understand. She began by admitting her fault. About the house, Mom was wrong. I watched her in silence, saying nothing. Mom admits that, over the years, she was indeed a bit kinder to Ethan. It's not that it's better, it's favoritism. Mom's face flushed. Fine, it's favoritism. Mom is biased, okay? Her tone was reluctant, it was obvious she admitted it only because she was forced. What's the point of admitting it now? The house has already been transferred. You can take the house back. I was a little surprised. You're willing to? I'll talk to Ethan. He'll understand. Understand? I didn't think that likely, my brother wouldn't necessarily be willing to give up a house he already had. Alright, I'll wait to hear from you. Emma, don't talk about family matters online anymore, it's not good if it gets out. Let's wait until the house situation is resolved before saying anything. A flash of displeasure crossed her mother's eyes, but she still nodded. Back home, I called Lily and told her about what had happened today. Do you think your mom will actually take the house back? Lily asked. I don't know, but it should be hard. Why? Because my brother isn't an idiot, he won't give up a windfall that easily. Sure enough, the next day he came looking for me. He strode up to the foot of my office building, blocking my way. Sis, what on earth are you trying to do? I want back what belongs to me. What belongs to you? That house was left to me by Grandpa. Finally, the true face was revealed. Ethan, what did you just say? I said the house was left to me by Grandpa, not to you. But Mom didn't say that before. She said the house was originally meant for me, only given to you because you needed it to get married. My younger brother was stunned, he clearly hadn't expected me to retort like that. That's the same thing, anyway, the house is mine now. If it's yours, then bear the consequences yourself. What consequences? The consequence of elder care. Since you monopolized the property, you'll be solely responsible for our parents' care. On what grounds? I'm the son, you're the daughter, supporting our parents is our shared duty. I laughed. Ethan, your logic is amusing. When inheriting the estate you claim being the son makes it natural, but when taking on responsibility you suddenly invoke gender equality. This is different. Different how? Either you give me one of the houses, or you bear all the elder care costs yourself. One or the other. The younger brother's face flushed red, his neck bulging. Sis, since when did you get so petty? Petty. That word again. Me being petty?